call the roll, please?
I'm sorry.
Robert Kraus,
Present.
Jason Blair,
Here.
Scott Singer,
Here.
Terry Kavner,
Here.
David Roberts,
Here.
Mark Ham,
Here.
Glenn Lewis.
Here. Would you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2 is the consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting held October 20th, 2014. Item B is receive the minutes of the regular planning commission meeting held August 12th, 2014. Item C, declare certain vehicles as surplus. Item D, authorize staff to solicit bids for a code enforcement nuisance abatement contract. Item E, approve a budget supplement to the general fund in the amount of $5,590,000 and a residual equity transfer of $450,000 from special revenue fund. Item F is approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2014-2015 in the amount of $1,855,168.62. Do we have a motion?
Make motion to approve.
All right. Thanks, David.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Item 3 is consider, would you call the vote, please?
Robert
Adam,
Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner, David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 3 is consider acceptance of a grant award from the Department of Justice for 2 police officer positions through the Community Oriented Policing COPS grant hiring program.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. In June of this year, we applied for a grant through the Justice Department for the COPS hiring program. And we were notified in September that we were fortunate enough to be accepted on that grant for 2 positions for community relations or police officers. What we're planning on doing with that, if you see fit to approve this, is have those officers assigned to our community policing unit full-time. We have 1 officer already assigned to our community policing unit, but then we'll have 3. And these positions will be used to, use the crime-free zones programs that we've talked about before, and also use the CPTED concepts, which is crime prevention by environmental design. It'll also be used to build relationships within the community and a lot of crime prevention and things of that nature. The grant is for a total of $408,000 over 3 years for salaries. The city's portion of that would be $50,000 over that 3 years. We would then be required to retain those officers for 1 year after the 3-year period, which normally we could do pretty easily through attrition, or if it's a successful program, hopefully we could keep those positions. So we would request that you consider that for approval. Any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer.
Just to ask, as far as you indicated, get out and build relations within that community, so is that more than just driving a car through there? Is that actually getting out and spending some time on the ground, talking to folks?
Yes, that would be, what we envision to have, we'll have 3 officers, and the city will be divided into 3 sections, and each officer will be responsible for basically the quality of life. That's their section of the city, to focus on any major problems that can be addressed by building those relationships, by contacting the actual department managers, by providing information to them, helping them with crime prevention ideas, neighborhood watches. They'll also be involved in the schools in their sector. Anything that comes up in that area, they'll be responsible for any kind of, safety talks or anything like that. So, yeah, it will be, what we want to try to do is reduce the crime. We don't want to wait for it to happen and respond to it and those types of things. And the way you do that is by the trust of your community and building that trust with those people that are in those parts of town that, may have more problems than others, So that's the idea, to try and, be able, so that they'll trust us to give, because as we know, we can't do anything without the help of the citizens. Right. So, and they have to trust that you're gonna do the right thing and be there for them, and vice versa.
Okay.
Do I want to make a motion?
Make the motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Chief, I don't know who filled out the grant, but tell them appreciate the work.
That was Major Yandell.
Okay.
Did a good job on
All
that.
right, thank you. Item number 4 is consider rezoning application number RZ-919 located in the northeast quarter of Section 10, Township 10 North, Range 3 West, being south of Northwest 27th Street and west of Shields Boulevard, from C5 Automotive and Commercial Recreation District to C5-PU Automotive and Commercial Recreation District, with a permissive use for used car sales, and approve ordinance number 784-14, application by Robert Jewell. Planning Commission recommended approval of this item 8-0.
Mayor and Council, this application is located on the west side of North Shields Boulevard and south of Northeast 27th Street. It's also known as 2417 North Shields Boulevard. The applicant is requesting a permissive use for automotive sales and rental light for this property to allow for used car sales. Being a developed property, this site has existing water and sewer. Access is provided by the southbound North Shields Boulevard. This property is currently designated in More Vision 2020 as light industrial because the proposed use is of a lesser intensity than light industrial. No amendment to the land use plan is required. This property has been used for automotive repair purposes since 1987. The light auto sales use would be an extension of the existing and adjacent uses. Staff believes that these uses are compatible in nature and that this is a logical progression of zoning. We recommend approval of this application. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you both. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Any protest on this item? Would you call for the vote, please?
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes. Thank you for expanding your business to more. So, item carries. Item number 5 is considered rezoning application number 920, located in the northeast quarter of Section 32, Township 10 North, Range 2 West, being south of Southeast 34th and west of Center Road, from A1 Rural Agricultural District to RE Residential Estates District, and approve ordinance number 78514, application by Charles and Dorothy Howell. Planning Commission recommended approval of this item 8-0. It's in Ward 1.
Mayor and Council, items number 5 and 6 on your agenda packet are companion items. This subject site consists of approximately 3/4 of an acre. It's located west of on Southeast 34th Street and west of Sooner Road. The site is currently part of a larger tract of property that has been split over the years to create a series of rural residential lots fronting Southeast 34th Street. The applicant wishes to split this property from the larger parcel to allow for the construction of a single-family home. In order to split the property and build a home, the property must be rezoned to the RE Rural Residential Estates District. A 12-inch water main is existing on Southeast 34th Street. Sanitary sewer is not available, and an approved septic system will be utilized. Access is from Southeast 34th Street. An amendment to the Moore Vision 2020 is not necessary as RE uses are classified as rural residential density. In reviewing this application, staff believes that this application does complement the existing residential developments in this area. And staff recommends approval of this rezoning contingent upon the approval of the companion lot split by City Council. But I should note that the Moore subdivision regulations does limit the number of lot splits from the original lot before a property must be platted. Approval of this rezoning and lot split will maximize the allowable lot splits per the subdivision regulations. This was also noted on the last staff report of the last rezoning that was done in 2004. Any future lot splits will be subject to platting and public improvement installation as required by city code. On page 88 in your agenda packet, I have made a map of all the previous lot splits with the years that they were approved. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them at this time.
Make a motion and we approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this? Anyone object? No, would you call for the vote, please?
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Robert Kraus.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Scott Singer.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 6 is consider approval of a lot split located in the northeast quarter of section 32. Township 10 North, Range 2 West, being south of Southeast 34th Street and west of Center Road. Application by Charles and Dorothy Howe. This is a sister item to the one we just did.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Robert Kraus.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Scott Singer.
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 7 is consider awarding bid number 1415-001, sale of lots 2 and 3 in Old Town Industrial Edition to Muncie Insulation in the amount of $103,000.
Mayor and council, you may recall that the city owns 2 lots over in the Old Town Industrial Edition, which is over near Vaughn Foods off of 12th Street. You authorized us to put this out for sealed bids for possible sale, and we did receive back this one bid from Muncie Insulation. This is a company that's existing in that area in the industrial edition and is needing some additional room. And so they submitted this bid of $103,000. We may recall we had an appraisal of $102,000 on the property, so I think that it meets the minimum requirement with regard to what we would need to see out of this piece of property. So we're recommending that you award this. However, it will be subject to the passage of the ordinance under item number 8, which is a charter requirement whenever the city of Moore sells any land in value over, what is it, $25,000, Randy, I believe, $25,000, or have to authorize it by ordinance with a 30-day period for that ordinance to become effective. So
Okay.
once you do that, approve both these agenda items, then we'll go to a contract with these folks subject to the ordinance being passed and the 30-day wait period for that.
Okay, before we get a motion, I have to ask Randy. Randy, you see everything okay on item 7 and 8? Okay. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Robert Kraus.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Scott Singer.
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 8 is consider ordinance number 78314, amending Part 7, Chapter 2 of the Moore Municipal Code 2013 supplement by adding new section 7-211, providing for the sale of certain real property pursuant to Article 4, Section 4-4 in the Charter of the City of Moore, providing for an election if a legal and sufficient referendum petition is properly filed, repealing inconsistent provisions and providing for severability. Do we have a motion on this item?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you both. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts, Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. At this time, we'll recess the city council meeting and convene the Moore Public Works Authority meeting. Item 9 is the consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular Moore Public Works Authority meeting held October 20th, 2014. Item B is approve and ratify claims and expenditures for 2014, 2015 in the amount of $763,248.14.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Everybody get their claims questions answered?
Jason
So-
Blair,
Thanks.
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. At this time, we'll recess the Moore Public Works Authority meeting and convene the Moore Risk Management meeting. Item number 10 is the consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular Moore Risk Management meeting held October 20th, 2014. Item B is approve and ratify claims and expenditures for 2014, 2015 in the amount of $146,868.93.
Move to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments on these? Questions? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus.
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. At this time, we'll recess the Moore Risk Management meeting and reconvene the City Council meeting. Item 11 is new business. Item A is citizens forum for items not on the agenda. We don't have anyone signed up. Would anyone like to speak? Okay. Item B is items from the City Council or trustees.
Just a couple of quick things. One, I had the opportunity to go to the, and others went to the new Heyday opening, and that was an amazing place. Encourage you to go check that out. I was really impressed by what I saw there. What a great improvement they've made. The Boulevard area, Northeast 27 or Northeast 12 on Broadway, North Street, where we put in the grass and the trees. That I was driving that the other day after church, and it looked really good. So I hope that we'll continue to devote resources to that, and keep the grass water, and all those kinds of things to make sure that it looks nice. But it looked great. The Storage One facility that opened there at Main and Eastern, I just want to say hats off to that group of builders. I'd like for the future storage facilities to come to our community look like that one. It doesn't look like a storage facility at all, so it's really nice. And then finally, I have had the opportunity for the past year or so to go to the ACOG meetings on behalf of our city council once a month. And at our last meeting last week, and I get to pass this out to the council, and I just wanted to mention it briefly to you guys. I thought it was pretty interesting, and just give you a little bit of information so that you can look at it. And it was actually the commuter corridor studies that were done, and they made their final presentation to us. They did some different studies throughout the Metroplex through the North Corridor study, which included Edmond. The East Corridor was Midwest City, Oklahoma City. The South Corridor was Norman. And there's the possibility, this again is very, very early, of having a commuter, a light rail service. They call it one-seat transportation, I believe, meaning that you could get on the train, a light rail train, and go from Edmond to Norman without having to get off and make different transitions. Most of it's using the current Burlington Northern Santa Fe rail, the right-of-way. I think there were a few exceptions. They have a in Midwest City area, where it branches off from the main rail going to Tinker, and they have that more as a streetcar design. They estimate that in the southern section, and I have a corridor, which is on page 3 of what I gave you, which really concerns us, and it shows you some of the, it says South Corridor LPA. It shows you a little bit of the costs that are involved in that, and as anything, there's a lot of great ideas, but then how do you pay for that stuff? And that's a huge number, so those are big obstacles to overcome, but it shows an approximate ridership per day of that 5,700 of the studies and the formulas that they have of people that could utilize the light rail. And that's not including special events, you know, ball games or Thunder games, and OU games, and that kind of stuff. So it's just a little bit of information for you to look at, and some of the stuff we discussed at ACOG. One of the things that was central to this was the Santa Fe Hub in downtown Oklahoma City, and there was some question as to who owned that, and Oklahoma City now owns it. I think they're still negotiating a price, but they actually have the title to that building through a legal process that was pretty confusing, so I'm not going to try to explain it, but the representatives that were at the ACOG meeting for Oklahoma City said that they now own that building. So this is something that I believe is going to be coming. Just how soon, that I don't know. I asked that question, and one of the persons that have prepared the study said an aggressive time frame would be 7 years. So we'll see. You know, there's still a lot that needs to happen after they've done this, and that is actually coming to the different corridors and talking to the different elected officials and other stakeholders in the community, and getting information to them so we can see if this is something that may be for us. So that's for you guys to look at. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Or you can call ACOG yourself and try to answer the questions I have.
All right, thank you.
That's all that I have.
Anybody else? Okay, any items from the city manager?
Just a couple of things, Mayor. One is I'd just like to remind everyone to vote tomorrow. Election, statewide election, as well as our municipal questions. So I just encourage people to exercise their right to do that. And Chief, if you'll come forward, we have one of our officers to introduce to you.
Tonight we have Officer Crystal Landowski, and she has been with us for 2 years and 2 days, 3 days. She said she wasn't counting, but she's originally from West Texas. She's married, 3 children. Her husband is retired Air Force, and they were stationed here when he retired, and she had moved around quite a bit, and so once he retired, she was able to, I think she said something like, husband said, "What are you going to do?" And she said, "I want to be a police officer." So he said, "Well, Moore's hiring," and we're very glad that she applied. So she's doing a very good job for us. She's also bilingual. She speaks Spanish quite well, which is a big plus for us. And she went through the application process. It's a little tougher for the ladies, and they have to still do the physical stuff when they're applying. And she went through it with ease. And like I said, we're really glad she did. She's doing a great job for us, and we appreciate the work that you do. So,
Thank you.
Just briefly, I had an opportunity to meet you a while back. I was minding my own business. It wasn't my fault.
Sure.
And there you were. But you were very professional. I had a tail light out or something minor. And you're very professional during the stop. Thank you.
I didn't hear about it, so you must have done a very good job.
Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Item 12 is executive session. Section 307, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes permits the public body to meet in executive session for certain specified reasons under certain specified conditions. It is the opinion of the city attorney that the city council may consider and adopt a motion to meet in executive session to discuss the following item. Item A, discuss, consider, and if deemed appropriate, consider taking possible action regarding legal action in federal arbitration and conciliation services, case style FMC S 12053008-56008-1-R43, Carrie Andrews versus City of Moore, and authorization for legal counsel and staff to take action as necessary and appropriate in the interest of the defendant as authorized by 25 Oklahoma statutes B 307, 1, 2, 4, and 7. Do we have a motion to meet in
Make a
executive session?
motion to convene to executive session.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. For you, call for the vote, please.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, we are going to executive session. And if this went on there, this would be the fastest meeting ever.
They were up at the time.
Okay,
I think they were up like,
that's right.
Stan, I
Yeah.
think they were up like 20-6 or something.
Would you please call the roll back?
Robert Kraus,
Present.
Jason Blair,
Here.
Scott Singer,
Here.
Terry Kavner,
Here.
David Roberts,
Here.
Mark Ham,
Here.
Glenn Lewis.
Here, we are reconvened from executive session. Do we have a motion on the item?
Make a motion for staff to proceed as directed.
All right, thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, the item is approved. Thank you. Next item is item 13, adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you, everyone. Would you call for the vote, please?
6 seconds I heard there.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.